Hello there, what's up everybody? And in this tutorial video, I will be teaching you guys how I created this cool looking scene in Blender. So the video will be divided into 5 sections, or can be said as 5 timestamps. Okay, so I have opened a new scene in Blender. Now it's time to create our sphere and the background. So for those people who are new to the Blender or are beginners, I will turn on my screencast key so you can see whatever keys I'm pressing right here on the bottom left side of my screen, of your screen obviously. And now let's begin. So this is for the beginners. To navigate in the viewport, press and hold middle mouse button to rotate your camera around the object, and you can also press shift and middle mouse button to move around the viewport, and press Ctrl and middle mouse button to zoom in and out. Now remember these keys because we are going to use this a lot. So let me zoom in a little bit in our default cube. Now press tab to go into the edit mode. Select all the faces, not all the faces, but this and this face. Press X and select face to delete them. Now our background is ready. Go into the object mode, press tab to go into the object mode and select our background. Press G to transform it and press Z to lock it on the Z axis. Press 1 to move it by 1 meters. There we go. Now our background is properly placed on the grid. Let's increase the scale of our background by y-axis. So press S and press Y to lock it on the y-axis. Now drag your mouse to scale your background. That will work. Now let's add the sphere. Press Shift plus A to add any object into your scene. Go to the mesh, select UV sphere. Let me zoom in a bit. So as we can see here, our sphere is not really high on poly counts. We need to make its geometry more higher. We need to make its faces more higher. So what I'm going to do here is, we can see your segments and ring. Select your segments and type 80 and make your rings 82. Now we have more geometry, and we will need this geometry in future, trust me. Now select your sphere, press G to transform, press Z to lock it on the Z axis, bring it up so it's roughly placed on our background. Now scale it, press S and drag your mouse to scale your sphere. I'll make my sphere way smaller. We'll press GZ to move it down, GX to move my sphere back. Let it touch the wall. Okay. There we go. Our background and sphere are ready. Now let's add some materials and shader to our sphere. The first thing you need to do is download displacement, because that software is going to help us by creating or generating displacement maps. We need that displacement, we need those displacement maps to add bumps on our sphere and to make it look futuristic, of course. You can download displacement by clicking the link on the description of this video. Once it is downloaded, open your displacement software. Where is it? Yep. So it will look like this. Click here. Just a second. Click here. Go into the displacement classic, or maybe displacement 2. Yes, this will help. Now you can generate displacement map by pressing R on your keyboard, and there we go. That's some dope looking displacement right there. I need my map to be bigger, so I will click on big data, and there we go. We have a great and complex displacement map generated right there. You can also press R again to seed it, to make it look different from the first one. Okay, I will use this one. So now click on the save height and save it somewhere on your computer. Now go to the colorizer, select whatever color you want or you love in this map. This looks dope, and this looks great, this looks great, this is good. I'll use this one, this color right here. Now if you love the color, click on save color and save it. Now we have some displacement images, displacement maps. So to add our displacement map on our sphere, go into the shading tab right here. Let me close this windows first. Click here and drag on the left side to close this windows. Don't need it. Okay, let me zoom in. Let's first click select our sphere, click on the new button right here. Let's add our color map first. Press Shift plus A to add anything. Click on the search, type image, press enter. We have our image texture right here. Now we need to tell him the path of our image. So click on open and select your folder where you had saved your displacement maps. And now select the color, open image. Now connect the color to the base color. And here we have our map, color map. It looks cool, but I want it to be more complex and smaller, I mean bigger. So what I will go and what I will do is I will go into the UV editing tab and select my sphere. Obviously click on tab to be in edit mode, and over here I will select everything by pressing A and press S and 1. Wait a minute, first I need to be in material preview so that I can show you guys what I'm doing here. Press S and 1, maybe press S and 3. Yep, that will work. So what we have done here is we have repeated our color texture. Now it's more complex and small. So let's go into the shading tab. We'll select this, our image texture, and press Shift plus D to duplicate it. Now we will add our height map. So this is our height map. Go to the sRGB color space and make it non-color. Now let's add some bumps to it. Shift plus A, press bump, type bump, connect color to height and normal to normal. Okay, I don't think it's necessary to add bumps to it, so I'll delete it, and instead of bumps we will add displacement to it. It will look much cooler. So press Shift plus A, search, type displace, click on displacement, connect the color of your height map to the height of the displacement. Now select displacement and plug it into displacement. There we go. It looks like a height map, but if we render it, it will be a lot cooler than it actually looks here. We have to do some few settings now. Go into the material tab right here, go down, we have to be in cycles, so go into the render properties, click here, render engine, change it to cycles. I'll switch it to GP compute and we'll go into the material tab. Now we have a tab named displacement right here. That's cool, we need it. And in the settings, surface, our displacement is bump only. Change it to displacement and bump. Okay. And set the feature set to experimental from supported. Now go into the modifiers tab, add a modifier, select subdivision surface modifier and click on the adaptive subdivision. What it will do is it will make the resolution of our geometry more higher. In short, it will increase the poly count of our geometry. Once that is done, hit Z and select render to see how it looks. Okay, I cannot see and okay now. Just a second, let me go into the solid mode and let me quickly adjust my lighting so I can see my sphere perfectly. Select your light, press G to move it, bring it near sphere, or you can even duplicate it by pressing Shift plus D so you have more than one light source. Decrease its power a little bit. It's 1000 watts, do it 500. Do 500 for this too. This is just a rough lighting to see our sphere. Now press Z and hit render. Okay, for me my displacement looks quite good, and I will keep these settings. You can tweak your settings as you need. Now once that is done, let's add some emission to our sphere. We'll change my render engine from cycles to EV so that I can navigate without any lag. Select our sphere, press Shift plus A, add a color ramp. Connect your color to the emission right here, and now place your color ramp in between the node. Okay, now adjust your color ramp so the light is on some parts, the light will emit from some parts of our sphere. Let me delete one of the lamp. Okay, let's see now. Will change my light color from white to maybe orange. Yep, that looks good. We'll bring my black side slider here. Tweak. Yep, that will work for me. It looks good. Yep, it looks awesome. So what we need to do now is we need to create this wire-like looking structure outside our sphere. So how to create it? It's quite simple. Select your sphere, press Shift plus D. Now you have one more sphere. Remove its material, scale it outwards, go into the edit mode, press 3, and first of all remove your subdivision surface modifier from it. Select all of the faces by pressing A, press 3 to be in face selection mode, right click and unsubdivide. That will work. Now go into the modifiers tab and select wireframe modifier. Decrease its thickness by a little bit. I will keep my thickness to 0.005. Yep, that looks cool. Now what we can do is go into the edit mode by pressing tab, press 3 to be in face selection mode, and press C to switch to circle selection mode. After pressing C, you can select random faces. I will select some of the faces quickly. Now press X to delete them and select face. Go into the object mode, and we have half deleted wire mesh. It looks cool. Let's set our lighting and add camera to the scene. So first of all, I will switch to the EV render engine, press Z and go into the render mode so that I can see my lightning in real time. We'll select my light source one here, press X to delete it, we don't need it. Now what we need is, we need the area light. Press Y and rotate your area lamp so it fits right behind your spear. I will rotate a little bit on the Z axis. I will select my spear and wire mesh and move it a little bit forward on the Z axis. Duplicate, lock on the Z axis, and place my light behind our spear. We'll decrease the size of my area lamp on the Z and on the Y. Now if we go into the cycles render engine, we can see how our light works. So it's looking good. We'll switch to the EV again. We'll make my light a little bit dimmer. Actually, it's good, I think it's great. We'll move my light on the Z axis a little down, press Y to rotate it on the Y axis, and it looks good. Let me place my light a little bit behind the spear. Okay, that looks good. So we are going to use only 2 area lamps in our scene in the name of lightning. Now we need to add a camera. Maybe we do have a camera. Yep, we do have a camera. I will select my camera from here, press G to move it. Where is it? Where is my camera? Let me delete it and add a new camera. Shift plus A, camera, and here it is. Move your camera roughly for now. Now press console key and select view camera. Now press shift plus console key to move your camera with viewport. Move your camera from your mouse, I mean. Now you can control your camera in first person mode. Press W to move forward, press S to move back, D and A to move right and left. Now I will roughly adjust my camera. Okay, maybe there it looks good. Now to render it, just press F12. Now it's time to add material to our backdrop. To do that, so select the backdrop, go into the material properties right here, click on new, and you have a material already. Go into the base color and change its color. Instead of changing the color from here, I will go into the adopt color and will click on explore once I am in, and I will search here soft colors. I will pick this one and will copy the code by clicking here. Once the code is copied, go into your base color, click on hex and paste the code here. Now we have much better looking color. Now what I will do is I will go into the edit mode, click on the bottom face, will add another material from here, click on new and then click assign. Now we have two material, one for the wall of the background and one is for the floor. We'll go into the material 006, copy the base color by putting my mouse pointer here and will press Ctrl plus C to copy it. We'll go into the material 007 and will again put my mouse pointer here and will paste the color. Now I will scroll down and decrease the roughness. Now as we can see here, the floor of our backdrop is shiny and the background of our backdrop is rough. It gives a cool effect, and that's what we need. Let me do some settings for my camera. We'll change my focal length from 50mm to 100. Now I will press shift and Control key. We'll go back. To increase the speed, just scroll your mouse wheel. Just scroll your mouse wheel to increase the speed of your camera. We'll place my camera right here. This looks good. Okay, this looks great. Shift plus S to save my scene. Now I will add an empty object. Press Shift plus A, go to the empty and add an empty plane axis. We'll place it right here. Now first I will select my sphere, then the wire mesh, and then the empty object. Now I will press Ctrl plus P and select object keep transform. So if I move my empty object now, entire thing move with it, and that will be easier for us to place our sphere now. Now I'll press G and Z and move my sphere a little bit up. And I will go to the solid mode, go to cycles render engine, make sure the denoising of the render is disabled, go into the compositing and first go into the view layer properties and select denoising data. Now check on use nodes, Shift plus A, add a denoising node. There we go. Connect noisy image to image, normal to normal, albedo to albedo, and Shift plus A and add a viewer node. Now plug your image to the image of the view. So what this will do is we will be able to see our render right here. Now to move the image, press Alt and middle mouse button and drag your mouse. And we also need a glare node. Now press Shift plus A, search and glare. Add it. Now select it to fog glow. Make it high. Size 8. That's good. Now let's check how our scene looks in render view. Our sphere and background is ready. We have set it our camera, our lightning, and now it's time to create the globe holder, such as here, and we will add some flying spheres to our scene to fill it up. So let's do it. Select your old sphere, go into the edit mode, press 3 to be in face selection mode, press and hold Alt and select the face. Now we have an entire selection here, entire circular selection here of face. Do it again, Shift and Alt, hold Shift and then press Alt and then click here. Now press Shift plus D to duplicate it. Click your mouse button. Now press P and select selection. Now we have a ring of our globe holder. Let me increase this in the size. Now I will press R and X, will press 90 to rotate it in the 90 degrees. Now we'll press R and Z and press 90 to again rotate it in the 90 degrees, but in Z axis, and press enter. There we go. Will press my console key and go into the top view. Will roughly adjust my globe holder in the middle of our sphere. That looks good. Will increase the scale of it by pressing S and X. Will again go into the top view and place our globe holder roughly in the place. Now I will go into the edit mode, click on my console key, go into the top view again, will click here to enable the X-ray mode. Now we'll roughly select the other side of our globe holder and press X to delete the face. Okay, there we go, it looks cool. As we can see now, it have the material of our first sphere, and to remove the material, go into the materials tab and click on this button. There we go. Now we need to make it thick. So to do that, go into the modifiers tab and add a solidify modifier. Increase its thickness a little bit. For me, that will work. And to make the edges more rounded, just increase the viewport render of the subdivision surface modifier by a little bit. Okay, that's looking good. Now let's add some material to it. Go into the shading tab, click on new. We'll go into the material preview. Okay, we'll make the color brown, dark brown. Okay, that will work. Now I will try to give it some wooden look. To do that, I will press Shift plus A and add a bump node. We'll connect the normal of the bump to the normal right here. We'll press again Shift plus A, and now we'll add noise texture. We'll connect my color to the height. Okay, the texture is stretched up, so to fix that I will select my noise texture and press Ctrl plus T. But to this happen, make sure your node wrangler add-on is turned on. To turn it on, go into the edit mode, preferences, and search here node wrangler. There you go. Now what I will do is I will select my object and place it to vector, and that will fix it. We'll increase the scale way higher. Now we'll decrease the strength of it. Okay, we'll increase its roughness, or maybe keep it right where it was, and that looks good. I'm happy with that. Now let's add material to our sphere, this wire mesh. Click on new and just make it metallic. It looks much better. Now let's create the base of our globe holder. To do that, so press Shift plus A, go into the mesh, add a cylinder. That's way big, so decrease it in the size. Press S and drag your mouse. GZ, now SZ to make it smaller. GZ, SZ, now I will go into the edit mode and select its face by pressing 3 and selecting the face, the top face. We'll press E to extrude it. We'll decrease its size by pressing S, and we'll again press E and lock it on the Z axis. Now we'll again extrude it, make it smaller, press E again and Z, and let's do this one more time. Okay, that looks good. The edges of our globe holder is quite sharp, and we will fix that in a second. Now I will go into the top view by pressing my console key and clicking on top. Will roughly place my globe holder base into the middle. Okay, that looks good. We'll increase it in scale on the Z axis. Okay, that looks good. We'll select my empty and okay, maybe increase it more in the scale. Press S and Z. Okay, there we go. Now to give it the same material as our globe holder, select this, click on here and select the material of the globe holder. Okay, so now the base and the ring of the globe holder, the edges of them are quite sharp. To fix that, we will go into the modifiers tab and add a boolean, not a boolean, the bevel modifier. There we go. We'll increase its segments. Okay, that looks much better. We'll do same for the base, add a bevel modifier. We'll increase the segments and we'll also increase the amount. Okay, that looks better. We'll right click and select on shade smooth. That looks good. And we'll decrease its roughness quite a bit low. And let's decrease its strength of the bump. Let's make the color maybe light brown. Okay, that looks good. In our case, the color was very dark, so let's make it more darker. Maybe that will work. Now let's make the ring of our globe holder much better. Now let's make the ring of our globe holder look a little bit more nice. So select it, go into the edit mode, go into the face selection mode by pressing 3 and press Ctrl+R to add a loop cut right there. Now press 3 to be in the face selection mode and press Alt and click on the face to select the entire ring. Press and hold Shift, Alt and do the same for the other side. Now press E to extrude it and extrude it a little bit out. Maybe that much. Yep. That's looking much better. Now that's looking much better than before. And that's what we wanted to do. Now let's add some spheres in the space, just like in this image right here. So to do that, select your sphere, duplicate it and move it on the y-axis, scale it, make it smaller and click here to make it a new material. Now once that's done, remove the displacement by selecting it. Actually, just remove the displacement by selecting it and pressing X. Okay, now drag and bring the image texture right here. Add a bump node, plug color to height and normal to normal. That will give it detail. Okay, so now go into the camera view by pressing Console key and selecting view camera. Now place your spheres randomly anywhere to fill the scene. To duplicate this sphere, just select it and press Shift+D. Make it random. I'll decrease its size and rotate it a bit. Do the same thing for this one. We'll duplicate it now and we'll place here. We'll make it a little bit big. And we'll rotate it. We'll duplicate it once more and we'll place right here. Rotate it to randomize it, and there we go. We'll put it a little bit back from the camera so it won't get affected by the depth of field. Okay, that looks good. I'll duplicate it one more time and we'll now at the camera settings select depth of field and select the focus object, the sphere, and increase the f-stop a little bit, probably 3, nope, 3, 4, 4.2. Okay, I will keep it at 4. And now go into the solid view, save your scene, switch to cycles render engine, increase the render samples to somewhat 3 to 400, output 400, and now press F12 to render. Now after the rendering is done, it is time for some post-processing. Go into the compositing tab, add a mix node, plug it in with VNAM, mix to the composite, and now duplicate the glare node, change it to ghost from the fog glow, and now connect your denoise to the glare and the image of the glare to mix. Let's see the result now. Okay, so by adding the ghost glare, we got this little lights which gives it a cool effect, and you can lower it or maybe make it higher by changing the iterations. I'll set it to medium instead of high. Let's see how it looks. Okay, maybe I'll keep it at high and lower the iterations. We'll set the iterations to 2. Let's see now how it looks. Okay, this looks much better. Now let's add a lens distortion. Let's do this, and now increase this to 0.05. Let's see the effect. Okay, this looks cool. Now let's add a color balance node. We'll put it right here into the viewer. Set it to offset power slope. Now you can give it a little bit film grain, but first what I will do is I will go to the render properties inside the color management and change the look from none to medium high contrast. As we can see now, the contrast has changed a little bit. Now let's play with some colors. I'll make the power a little bit bluish green. Okay, and the power slope a little bit pink, light pink, and this dark blue. Let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks good. Now let's plug in the color balance to the composite and let's see the difference. So this is without the color balance, and now this is with the color balance. For me, the color balance looks quite awesome, so I will just leave it as this, and that's it. This is how I created that cool looking scene and the globe. thank you for watching, guys. I hope that you have learned something new today, and sorry for the bad quality of the tutorial video. I'm not experienced in making tutorial videos, but I'm trying my best, and sooner or little later I will produce more quality tutorials. So thank you for watching. See ya.